Hey there, it's Kelly Sienkowski, Regional Editor with Potomac Local News. Today we're talking about a new wine and dining experience that's coming to Woodbridge. Cooper's Hawk Winery and Restaurant is opening a new location at Stonebridge that will bring together dining, wine tasting, and one of the country's largest wine clubs all under one roof. And joining me today is Emily Wines with Cooper's Hawk Winery. Emily, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So let's jump into you. What is your background in the wine industry?
Well, I'm a master sommelier. I've been in the business for almost 30 years, and I started out in the world of fine wine in Michelin three-star restaurants in San Francisco, and then there kind of got to be a point where I realized that working in luxury wine, where it's wine for the 1%, is nowhere near as rewarding as bringing wine to everybody. And so I always feel like at Cooper's Hawk, we are democratizing wine. So I have this background in serving and selling wine in restaurants. But today, what I do is I actually create a lot of our wine concepts. So I come up with great stories to tell and ways for people to experience wine in new ways.
I love that. And the idea of democratizing wine. What a great
Yes,
concept. So let's talk
exactly.
about Cooper's Hawk itself. For somebody who's never been to one or who isn't familiar
Mhm.
with them, what is the concept?
The concept is really unique. So the way a Cooper's Hawk works is when you first walk in the door, what you see is a tasting room. So it's like walking into a tasting room in Napa Valley, a big counter, lots of wines, a whole retail area as well. So all those fun wine knickknacks that you didn't know you had to have. And then we do tastings, and we have a big wine club membership that are part of that. And then behind that is our restaurant. And for us, food and wine are very synergistic. All of the foods on our menu are really designed to pair well with wine, and our wine is made to go with food. So it's a complete food and wine experience.
So for people who are, let's say, new to the wine world and don't have that experience of,
hmm
I need to pick a dish and then how do I pair it? How do they
hmm
navigate this?
Well, it's actually pretty easy. On our menu, you'll actually find a bin number with every single dish that suggests which wine would pair perfectly with that food. So you can actually create a little tasting menu with a wine pairing if you'd like. And the only wines that we have on our menu are the wines that we've created. And the only way to get our wines is at our restaurant.
And you guys also have what is apparently the country's largest wine club. What is the
Yes.
benefit of that wine club service for people who are trying to explore what they like and
Yeah.
they want to learn more
So
about wine?
Yeah, so our wine club is really fantastic. You can be a one, two, or three bottle a month member. You can choose between either a variety membership or an all suite membership as well. And we would really just like to meet people where they're at in their wine journey. And for a lot of our wine club members, it's at the very beginning. And so we have kind of that gateway entry wine for you, wherever your palate is. Our wine club is enormous. I think we're at about 850,000 members, which is wonderful. We have this really great community that is all centered around a love of wine. And with that membership, not only do you get tastings in the restaurant each month, but there's all kinds of great rewards that come along with that, and dining bonus points and such. But even more fun, we have these wine club dinners every month where we create different dishes around a theme and pour wines and make cocktails around that theme. People dress up. It's really, really fun. We've created this really incredible community that even extends beyond the restaurant. Every year now, we're doing a cruise where we take over a Virgin Voyages cruise ship, all with our members, and we take people on wine club trips. I actually leave in 2 days for Italy. I'm taking 30 of my favorite wine club members to Puglia, the southern part of Italy.
Sign me up to that. That sounds
Yes,
incredible. So you guys are
it's
not
so
just
fun.
doing brick and mortar. You guys are taking this to a whole new level of
Exactly.
wine exploration. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, so how do you, because I'm assuming that the employees that you guys are hiring for the brick and mortar, how do you guys train them and work with them so that they can welcome people into this sort of a journey?
Well, we have to do a lot of education. We are hiring people that are already passionate and enthusiastic and really friendly, and that's the stuff you can't train. From there, we can teach them about wine. So I have a robust wine education program that gets them all up to speed on our wines, and then we have ongoing wine education, and they are allowed to have free tastings, and so they're constantly being able to explore our food and wine along with our guests.
So they're learning along with them. That's great.
Indeed. Yeah.
So you said you're a master sommelier.
Mhm.
How how have you seen the general way that people approach and maybe talk about wine changing over the past few years?
I mean, lots of changes. I mean, for one thing, of course, there's been some concern that wine consumption has really changed, and it has, but I still feel like it's really hopeful, and it's not. I think after so many years of wine just growing, 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 the fact that it's sort
Mhm.
of plateaued is frightening a lot of people. But it's not something that we're worried about because we're finding that people are still be engaging with wine, and there's still an entry point. One of the differences, though, is that we're finding more people are looking for opportunities to enjoy wine without the alcohol. So we have non-alcoholic offerings. There are people who maybe are stepping back from wine or drinking because they're looking at their calories, and so we have some low-calorie wine. So these are some of the things that we've done to pivot to match what's going on in the rest of the industry.
That's spot on. I know a lot of my friends have switched to non-alcoholic because
Yeah.
they want the taste, but they don't need the buzz.
Exactly, exactly. Or there's another trend I love that people are doing that's called zebra striping, where they'll have a glass of wine and then they'll switch to a non-alcoholic drink, and then they'll go back to an alcoholic drink and then back to a non-alcoholic one. So they can continue feeling like they're part of the cocktail party or whatever, but they're not necessarily getting alcohol in every single drink.
Right.
So
So like I
yeah,
dressed for that. Zebra striping, that's a great
you're
name.
set.
So let's pivot back to Cooper's Hawk. So you said you enjoy making these fun stories and kind of working up
Yes.
the concept behind the wine. Is there something you're excited about for this sort of early summer ahead of us?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the directions that we've really embraced is this trend around ready to drink cocktails. So these are, and you've probably seen them out there where you can buy a bottled margarita or other kinds of drinks. So we're making a lot of wine-based ready to drink cocktails that are really fun, and the flavors that we're exploring are really vibrant. They're perfect for summer. We have some already on our menu, like a strawberry rhubarb spritzy sangria and a mango dragon fruit spritzy sangria, but we're bringing on a couple of new ones permanent to our collection. We have a summer berry and a blood orange pineapple spritzy sangria, both coming on, as well as one that we had just as a special treat last year that's now going permanent, which is a watermelon paloma. So based on that tequila cocktail, this is wine based instead, and it tastes like grapefruit and watermelon and agave. It's just the perfect summer combination.
I think you're saying all of my favorite flavors, blood orange,
Excellent.
dragon fruit, mango, and a
Yeah,
paloma. You're speaking my language.
excellent.
So let's talk about for somebody who's going to walk into Cooper's Hawk in your new location
Mhm.
in Woodbridge and they're thinking, I'm just not really a wine person. What do you
Yeah.
hope that their experience will turn into by the end of the visit?
Well, this happens all the time. People are like, well, I don't really like wine. And so then I'll talk to them a little bit and be like, well, what do you like to drink? And if it's somebody who, so for example, if it's somebody who likes more bitter beers, then that's a very different direction I would take them to into wine versus somebody who's
Yeah.
like, I like Coke, I like juice. But we have a lot of really fruity wines. And so it's always fun to see somebody who swears they don't like wine suddenly tasting something and being like, this is wine? All right, I do like wine. So like I said, I feel like we do have kind of that entry point for everybody.
So I do want to ask you, do you have a personal favorite at the moment that you're feeling?
Oof, it's hard for me to pick any one favorite because of what I do. I love them all. But for this time of year, I really like lighter, brighter, fresher white wines, things that are really refreshing. That we have a Spanish white wine called Abriante that's really beautiful. It's zippy like a Sauvignon Blanc, but not quite as grassy, a little bit more citrusy. It's like orange and lemon, really lovely, perfect for the weather warming up this time of year.
Perfect. And then I'm going to ask, do you have a favorite dish on the menu?
I have a lot of favorite dishes, but I think my favorite still is the Danish chicken, which is a Parmesan crusted chicken it's so delicious. We also do a variation with giardiniera, which is a very Midwest style flavor with those kind of pickled, crunchy Italian vegetables.
Mhm.
That's also just fantastic.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
So, Emily, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and give us a look at what Cooper's Hawk is bringing to Woodbridge. For all of our
absolutely.
viewers, I want to thank you so much for watching and make sure you subscribe to Potomac Local News. so you can stay informed on the latest business openings, community stories, and other delicious updates coming to your area. Emily, I hope you have a great day.
Cheers.